Hey there, and welcome to the Hey Kayla podcast. I am so happy you're here. I am still dealing with a little bit of a vocal strain, but I'm just so happy to be back. And this week, I'm going to be sharing something that I have found to be huge for me lately, something that is really anchoring me in because I feel like most of us, springtime, right? Things are getting a little busy, and I feel like I am hanging on by a thread. Like things have been absolutely bonkers lately in the best way possible, but still very, very crazy. If you've been here for the last little bit, I have been going through some home renovations, finishing some projects. There is like a new project every day once you get started, and it's been a lot of fun, and it's been such a I told my mom the other day, it's been like a gift because I feel like going through these things, and they're nothing huge. Like I'm not like redoing a kitchen or a bathroom. These are just like minor little things, and mostly it's aesthetics. But the things that I am learning are just, I'm impressing myself like every day. And I told my mom it was such a gift because it's showing me just how capable I am and how independent I am. And even though, yes, I go to Chat GPT a lot of the time and I'm like, hey, how do I do this? Hey, how do I properly mix concrete? Like I used to go to YouTube all the time for those kind of things, but Chat GPT has just been helping me out so much lately with that sort of thing. And I've been loving it. And it's such a gift because I feel so empowered. So my advice here, like if you have any little home projects that, I don't touch electrical, obviously plumbing, nothing like that. I would hire an expert. I would hire a professional. I'm not out here trying to get shocked or flood the place up. But if you're able to do little things for yourself around your place, do it. Oh my gosh, what a gift it's been. So that's been fun, but also exhausted. Like my ankles hurt, my hips hurt, my knees hurt. I've been doing a lot of painting. So I've been doing a lot of squatting, up and down ladders, like plastering walls, sanding, the cleanup from sanding. Oh my gosh, if you've ever done any sort of drywall work, the cleanup is not my favorite. It's probably like one of my least favorite things I've ever done, but it is still so empowering, even though like my body's killing me. I've been hosting some Jets playoff games and started hosting some whiteout street parties, which have just been amazing. I loved it so much, but it is a lot of energy and I'm a little tired from that. We're gearing up for TEDx. Like it is coming up at the end of this month. I am a TEDx speaker coach. So if you don't have your tickets yet for TEDx Winnipeg, it is coming up right at the end of the May. Please go get your tickets now. These speakers are incredible. They're working so hard. We're all working so hard. And then I've also obviously like worked in some fun downtime, right? As always, I'm a big fan in resting and taking care of yourself. I feel like that's how I'm able to be at my best, my most creative, my most powerful, right? I play really hard, but I rest really hard as well. Dad and I went to this Buffy the Vampire Slayer sing-along earlier this week. We just had a freaking blast. It was so good. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot of fun. But like I said, I've been relying really heavily on a practice to get me through it all. And that is setting an intention for how I want to move through life. Now, intention setting, not new to a lot of us, especially if you're in the spiritual woo-woo realm. Absolutely not. But this has a twist to it, so stick with me here. Because we're not just talking about a project or a task or like a goal. I mean like setting an intention as a human every day. Like in those in-between moments, like in my regular ass life. Like how do I want to feel and how do I want to move through life? So I want to back it up a second here and give you some behind the scenes. I've created, and then I've been sticking to this like new little daily schedule that I made for myself. Not perfectly. I do it for about 3 to 4 days a week, but it's been great. I'm still loving it. It's working for me. And I told myself, like I made this promise that I wouldn't tweak it or change anything for at least a month. Like I want to give it a chance before I start messing with it. And honestly, like the only real interruptions so far have been me trying to finish up some house projects, which again have felt amazing to check off. But that's the thing. Like I've never been one of those type A list makers, but I've been loving a good list lately. Like weirdly loving it. Writing things down, checking them off, sticking to a schedule. Like this is definitely helping me stay motivated. I've given myself some boundaries and I'm staying within them. So even though I'm playing, even though I'm moving around a lot, I still have those boundaries that, okay, this has to get done. This is what you have to do today. This is what you have to do this week. And I've been loving it. So at least for now, we'll see if that novelty wears off, but I've been loving this for now. And this sort of list making led to intention setting. So when I say setting an intention, I mean grounding into a feeling. Again, asking yourself, how do I actually want to feel as I move through my life? And this is where this came from. Because again, a lot of us not new to intention setting, but the other day I was doing a guided meditation and the teacher asked us that exact thing. Like, how do you want to feel? And again, we've heard this a million times. I use this prompt all the time. If you've ever worked with me in my workshops, in my coaching, I use it all the time. I journal on it constantly. I share it with my friends, my family. But this time, the teacher added a twist. They specifically instructed us to not tie it to a goal. So we're not thinking about our jobs. We're not thinking about our relationships. We're not thinking about our current situations. We're just asking, how do I want to feel as I move through my life? And I realized every single time I've set an intention in the past, it's always been goal related. What's my intention for this presentation? What's my intention for this meeting? What's my intention for the next month? I've never really asked myself, what's my intention for how I live? How do I want to feel day to day, not just when I'm on? So I sat with that and I asked myself, how does my favorite version of Kayla move through life? And it came to me instantly. She moves through life like it's easy. I love that. That's the vibe. Like, that's the energy. That's what I want. Peace and ease and comfort. And yeah, of course I chase hard things. Of course I work towards big goals. But my overall energy, the way I want to feel when I wake up, go through the day, and lay my head down at night is ease. So I kept sitting with that in the meditation and I asked myself, how do things start to feel easy? And boom, I got the download. Trust. You trust that it's going to work out. You trust that you're supported. You trust that even when it doesn't go to plan, you'll be okay. There's this phrase I say to myself all the time. I know I've definitely shared it here on the podcast before. It's going to work out. It always does. And it's going to be even better than I can imagine. Right? It's going to work out. It always does. And it's going to be even better than I can imagine. It's like 4 of my favorite quotes smooshed into one. And it's been my mantra for the longest time, especially this week. And I just keep coming back to that word, trust. Like when I was nervous about hosting the Winnipeg Whiteout Street Party for the first time, go Jets go, I just repeated trust to myself until I relaxed. When I was running late to a meeting, trust. When I was negotiating with a big client, trust. At the doctor's office, feeling a little anxious, trust. It's not about pretending nothing ever feels scary or overwhelming. It's about reminding myself that no matter what happens, I'll handle it. I'm okay. I'm supported. And here's the cool thing. The more I've practiced this, the more I've noticed how much control I actually have over how I feel. We really do have more power than we think when it comes to our thoughts and our energy. So that's the intention I've been anchoring into. I want to move through life like it's easy, even when it's hard, even when it's messy. I can still trust that it's working out. So here's my invitation to you for this week. Set an intention for your life. That sounds big, right? Like your entire life. At least this moment in time in your life. Not your goals, not your job, not your to-do list, not your dang 5-year plan. Just how do you want to feel as you live every single day? Like what's just the overall vibe for your days? Sit in silence for a few minutes. You can pop on some 528 hertz music, close your eyes, take some deep breaths, and just ask yourself, how does the fave version of me move through life, right? How do you want to feel in the quiet moments and in the chaos? That normal everyday stuff, right? You're a little anxious at the grocery store. You're a little anxious at the bank. If you're a little, worried you're running late in traffic, or when you're just super excited, maybe your best friend announced that she's pregnant, and you're just like, your heart's just bursting. Like, how do you want to feel in that normal everyday stuff? Set your intention from that place, like your base ground level, your foundation. Anchor into a feeling that's going to be your foundation and just let that guide you for a little while. So again, for me, it's, I want to move through life like it's easy. How do I let things feel easy? Even the shit times, I trust. I trust that it's going to work out. Good, bad, ugly, meh, I trust. So if you want to share your intention, I'd love to hear it. You can DM me or you can email me anytime. I'm info@heykayla.com. And until then, take care of yourself. Trust. What do they always say? I watch these makeup tutorials all the time and they're like, like when you're half done the makeup and it just looks goofy, like you don't have eyebrows on yet, or maybe eyebrows are all you have on, and you're looking a little weird. Trust the process. I hear that all the time in makeup tutorials. Trust the process. So take care of yourself, trust the process, and keep becoming your fave self. And until next week, next podcast episode, love you, and I hope you have the best week.